Right, hello, welcome back to another video again. Let me just unpause the game. Nope, that's the wrong button. Hold on. There's the right button. So, we're in the Voyager. Yes, right. Let me get it turned on quick and then I'll continue talking. Thank you. DRA can stay on for a minute. Let's open the doors. Instrument lights are already on. Let's get the headlights on today. I think other than that, there's everything else set up. Cause this, yeah, should automatically say Manchester Piccadilly. So we are in a 4-car 220. This is going to be probably made up of 2 parts. Why is it deregistered? It should have registered. Okay, I'll ignore that. I've got a bit of a cough. So, we're in a 4-car 220. And we are going to be going from Exeter to Birmingham New Street. But it'll be over 2 parts. So this first part is going to be Exeter to Bristol, and then we'll do Bristol to Birmingham in another video because it's split over 2 routes. So what's going to happen is when we get to Bristol Temple Meads, if you can see here in the task list, we are going to couple onto the back of 221136, what is a 5-car Class 221 Super Voyager. So for the next video, we will be a 9-car train instead of a 5-car train that we currently... No, the 4-car train that we currently are. But they'll be our front coaches. So for this video, we're driving from 220001. And in the next video, we'll be driving from 221136 with 220001 on the rear. Now, give me 2 seconds. I am just quickly going to go and grab my drink. So, be right back. Right, there we are. Rucksack acquired. I'm going to put my headset back on. Even though, so if there's any audio mismatch or anything, that will literally because I'm recording the audio from my phone because my headset at the minute doesn't have a mic on it because I'm using a different headset because my original headset is broken. So that's why I haven't been able to record any long form videos for a while. But I have found a way of doing it. It just means I have to link up it all up in my editor. So it might take a bit longer to edit because my editor is slow. Right, 10 seconds from departure. Train is all fully set up. So there's the gap buzzer. We've now got to return that. Then shut the doors. Yep. And we should get 2 buzzes. Right, do that and then return it and take power. There's the bogey square. Now we are in the new Armstrong Powerhouse 220 Landsman pack, so it sounds absolutely lovely. Now if I put up to full power, the turbo will kick in like that. I'm going to go back to half power. And why not? We'll watch the train go over Red Cow level crossing. There we are. So the route I'm using is at the minute is just train South Western Expressways, what runs from Exeter to Reading, but it also has a bit via Bristol and Bath, and then the branch line down to Westbury. What is actually the cross-country diversion route, but we're not doing that obviously because we're going to do the branch line and the Bikes and Hands in their own videos, as well as south of Exeter. That's going to be its own video because then it means I can do either Exeter to Paignton or Exeter to Plymouth. Either of them will probably be in Trains in World because Trains in World performs a little bit better on the Riviera line than Trains in Classic does, but it'll be as and when I get round to doing either of them. Come on! This thing is quite slow at accelerating. But our next stop in about 10 minutes is Tiverton Parkway, followed up by Taunton, and then Bristol Temple Meads, where we'll couple onto the other unit and then release the doors. Other than that, it is following the real life timetable of train 1 Mike 41, what is the 10:14 service from Paignton to Manchester Piccadilly. Obviously we're starting from Exeter because I'm going to cover the Riviera line in its own video. In real life there is no unit coupling at Bristol Temple Meads, usually, but I thought I'd put it in because I don't want to be driving a 4-car the whole way to New Street. So yes, that is where we stand with that one. So we were due at Tiverton Parkway at 11:08, due to leave at 11:09 and 30 seconds, and Taunton were due there at 11:20, so it's 11:20 and 30 seconds, and due at 11:22 and 30 seconds. Then we're due into Bristol Temple Meads at 11:55. Then for the next video, we're due to leave Temple Meads at bang on 12 o'clock. Wow. On real-time trains feed it's 12 o'clock, but on the actual database it's 12:01. Which one I decide to go for, I don't know. It'll probably be that 12:01 departure, because that seems to be the times that are more accurate. So I think the times that real-time train shows in its feed are what the station screens show, but the ones on the other bit, WTT, is the working timetable, so I'll probably go off the working timetable. We're almost up at 100 already. This 220 is flying. But if you have seen, I'll go into this in a bit when we get up there, but if you've seen any of my YouTube shorts I've put out today, as of the day I'm filming this, but I think this video will actually be released tomorrow, I'm not sure. There's a level crossing between Tiverton and Taunton, just before we pull into Taunton, where you might have seen I have been recording some trains today while I was out with some mates. Quite a few voyages. I will point that crossing out as and when we get to it, because it is on our route in this video. It's Victory AHB. So Victory crossing AHB is what it is, but it's at a place called Aliford. I think I've spoken about this crossing before in my previous Trains and Classic video, but we're actually going to be driving over it in this one. We'll try and manage the power going uphill and then downhill again. It's always nice and fun. Should we get an exterior shot of the train? I think just something. I love every single So I have got real-time trains up on the iPad, because again I have created this scenario specifically for this video. There's no AI trains, because if I was trying to record with AI trains it wouldn't end very well. Apologies, I have got a bit of a cough. I have done for ages. Right, we're 10.5 miles from Tiverton Parkway. It's expecting we'll be there at 11:08 and 28 seconds. Let's have a quick look. Okay, apparently we've got to get that down a bit, so we're going to run late. Easy. Well, I say that, it's cross country and we're always running late. The majority of the time. So I use it quite a lot, and it is normally one of these 4 cars. If it's a double unit train south of Bristol, the rear 4 or 5, whichever one it is, are normally out of use because they don't have enough train managers based out at Bristol to cover them. What is slightly irritating, even though they are running more double unit trains now, it seems like only the front 4 or 5, depending on which order it's in, if it's 221 on the front or 220 on the front, seem to operate south of Bristol, but the other ones are just there on the back of a train, and that's dead weight, hence why I've only gone for a 4 car. Because if the rear 5 aren't going to be in use, it's just dead weight, but in this case it would be the rear 4. Bit of thing about Voyagers, I love them. They're a bit of a love-hate, I know, but I absolutely love them. I don't see an issue with them, personally. Another level crossing. I don't know what many of these level crossings are in this bit, I have to say. Only because my knowledge of railways like south of Taunton is a bit in patches, because I'm normally travelling north of Taunton. It's very rare that I travel down south. Even I did recently, because I did 2 videos. I did buses in Paynton and buses in Exeter, and I was on cross country heading down there in the morning. Well, that was alright, it wasn't rammed because it was an early morning service. We're about to come up on Columpton. I can tell that because we're running right adjacent to the M5 motorway. I've been up and down there many times, but normally if I go south to Exeter, it's normally in a car with some mates, rather than getting the train, because I have quite a few mates who drive. What makes things more useful, because trains south of Bristol are a bit rubbish. They're frequent enough, like cross country run roughly every half an hour. At least every half an hour to Exeter. During the days either to Plymouth or Paynton. GWR run the hourly Castle service, but they also have the half-hourly trains off of London, so roughly a train every 15 minutes on average between Taunton and Exeter. Obviously average in reality is not quite the same, because quite a lot of the time trains will run bunched up. Like when I was recording today, we had a 9-car IT going to London come through, followed by a Voyager, followed directly behind that by a 5-car IT going to Cardiff, and then about 10 minutes later another Voyager. And that was all going in the same direction. Because cross country have fair paths, GWR have fair paths, and then it's just whatever it is, however they get pathed. So quite a lot of time it's not actually every 15 minutes, they seem to all be bunched up at once. But what can you do? Here, this is Columpton Services. I don't know how it's Columpton Services, because it isn't a direct junction with the M5, you have to come off at the normal junction and then services. I have spotted a couple trains in the past at Columpton Services, normally turbos running dead up to Taunton or Bristol to start their commuter trains. Because Exeter TMD, what is the diesel multiple unit depot for the southwest, they run all the commuter services in Bristol, all of the ones in Devon, and they also run the Weymouth trains, the Weymouth and Portsmouth trains, what link to Cardiff and Gloucester. These all run out of Exeter depot, so there's a lot of units that have to go empty to and from Bristol each day. Some do it in service, they just do a stopping service from Exeter to Bristol, especially in the evening. I've travelled on them many times to get home, because it just provides that later service south of Bristol. What otherwise wouldn't be there, they'd run empty. So why run an empty train when you have demand for a later train, and you can run a stopping train on a set down only basis? Like you'll leave Bristol and you are set down only after that, is how them services tend to operate. This, I believe, is the location of the old Tiverton station. As you see, we have through lines and all that. There's an old backdated version of this road from like the 60s that has that station still there. I can never remember its name, but it has that and Parkway, because that would have been just after Parkway was built. So I think Tiverton Parkway was built in the 60s. I'm just rambling at this point. That's what I do in most of my videos. We better start braking out, so we're going to overshoot Tiverton. We're back next to the motorway again. There is a whistleboard along here somewhere. One of my mates is a bus driver. He used to work out of Taunton. And they have a run that goes to Columpton, a college run. And there's a whistleboard along here that you can see from the motorway. I think I'm about to come up to it, actually. If not, I've already passed it and not seen it. There it is. But you can see from the motorway. And he always used to beat the bus horn when on his dead run back to Taunton. To what he told me. Anyway, and he does it in the car, so it's always fun. I've got to love when you can see bits of railway infrastructure from the roads. Makes for some fun. Luckily, Voyagers do decelerate pretty quickly, but I'm just a bit concerned I'm going to overrun my stop marker here. Like that HST back in 2019. Or was it 2018? It's one of the two where HST came in going southbound and completely overshot the platform. Driver probably forgot he was calling here, because all cross-country trains call here, but GWR are a bit hit and miss. Some trains do, some trains don't. So GWR drivers, you've got to watch your stopping pattern, because some stop, some don't. As of what's what, I would have a clue. We've stopped a little bit short there, but that's fine. And we're due out of here at 09 and 30 seconds. But yes. the audio recording. Had to mute up a second, but there we are. So where we're coming up on now, this is Wellington crossover, and the tunnel we went through, that was Whitehall Tunnel. And basically all this is toned out. Here, what is on the side of Wellington. What? Do whistleballs, we're going to get a few of them now. On the approach into Taunton. Say Tiverton to Taunton is not a long distance at all. Especially not when you get up to speed this quick. Because I think this is one of, well, with all of Armstrong Power has its newer ones, it sets a different variable of fatigue, as I would say, on the components of the train. So if you get like a really good unit, like I have somehow managed to do, it performs quite well. But other times, you get a shite one, what performs like absolute rubbish, like I normally get. I think we might soon be coming up on the crossing I was on about. It'll be somewhere around here. It'll be the next road crossing we pass. I think it's literally like 3 miles out. It might be this crossing here. I'm not sure. No, it isn't. I don't really know exactly where on the... Ah, here it is. So this is the crossing I was filming at earlier today. There we are. There is normally a pub. There's a pub here. And stuff like that. But that's the crossing I was filming at in my YouTube shorts earlier. I'm pretty sure it's that one. I hope it's that one, unless there's another one. But I think it's that one. It wasn't that one. Okay. Means there's multiple AHBs down here. It might actually be here. Whoops. I got the wrong crossing. Nope. Ah. That's better. It is this one here. And this is the angle I was filming from. So sorry, it's this crossing I was filming from in my shorts earlier. There we are. Yeah, because the pub is just here, and then you have the box here. Yeah. Single yellow, solid. For platform 5 in real life that would be flashing, as I saw plenty of today. So we'll start to reduce the speed. Yeah, but that crossing we just passed, that's the crossing I was filming at in my shorts, the YouTube short videos. Just before we go through all of this lovely stuff. Coming on, joining on now, that's not this one, that's the branch off from the West Somerset Railway, what goes to Meads. Really start bringing the speed down now because we are slowly coming into Taunton. And what we're about to pass is Silk Mills and, well, Fairwater Yard for a start is what we're now starting to pass. But this bridge, this is Silk Mills Bridge, and just down, a little further down there, is Silk Mills Park and Ride. But it's like this bridge is like the barrier of Taunton and not Taunton. So now we're in Taunton. Bring the speed down to around 55, so we're still a mile away. And this is Fairwater Yard. This is a GBRF freight yard. I think it's GBRF. And Network Rail. Normally store a few things in there. But they also store a few things up in the sidings at Taunton Station. But what you normally get in here is freight trains turning round, shunting round, running round, whatever you want to call it. On their approach into, well, if they're coming in here and turning round, it's when they're changing as and going up to Froome, but they would have come out of Westbury, but they've got to come all the way down here in order to turn round, so they can't turn round on the main line for obvious reasons. It's a very busy main line. Right, we'll start bringing the speed down a little bit more now. So we need to aim to stop at the I think it's the VT45 marker. So we're aiming to stop at. and we are now going in platform 5. This is Taunton Station. So, normally, these sidings, they normally house the CZA snowplows in them and a couple other bits of Network Rail equipment, like tampers, things like that, because that is the Network Rail depot for the maintenance for the southwest. Right, so I'm going to speed down a bit more now, looking out for our marker. I do see our marker. It's just down there. Might overshoot it. So it's a 2 and 4 car stop. Yeah, we've slightly overshot that, but that's fine. Let's try and aim for at least a smooth stop. And release the doors. Got about a minute and a half here. I love the sounds of the Voyager. In real life, that's Starbucks as well. Then you go down the stairs, not included. Weird thing here, the road actually is under the railway bridge, so bus-wise, the stand for buses coming into Taunton, like the town buses into the town centre, and the 28, they use a stand that's just here, because there is another entrance to the station there in real life, and on the other side. Right, if you can already see, this wouldn't happen in real life, because if one of these, a double-decker, went under this, it would lose its roof. And then over, this is all changed now, because the bus stop's moved, because the bus stop obviously used to be there, used to go round and service stop there. The bus stop is now, basically the bus stop is now all of this, is the bus stop. And then there's multi-storey car park here. But, yes, that's for buses, the 25 in both directions, and the 28 going towards Minehead service stop there. And what the hell are you doing walking on the track, mate? You can have a very angry horn blast. Let's close the doors. They slam shut a bit more than that in real life. Right, next stop is Bristol Temple Meads. Okay. AI passengers. I'll go to full power. Sit by the signal. Listen to the train go. They sound amazing. There we are. So yes, next stop is Bristol Temple Meads. Now, this is where for a little while, once we go past West Supermarket, is where what I've covered in this video and what I covered in the last Train Sim Classic video will sort of be the same, unfortunately, because from West Supermarket to Bristol we'll be running up the same bit of line of what we did in our IUT to London video. But it'll be in the next video where things are different, because we'll go Bristol Parkway then up to Birmingham New Street. What will be the first time me driving that map properly. I've driven as far as Gloucester so far, but yeah. That'll be horn, because there's another level crossing what I do a bit of train spotting up just round here. So what I normally do a little bit of train spotting out, it's a little foot crossing. There's a nice footpath around here as well. There it goes. Brilliant, so you get the trains literally as they're pulling out of Taunton. This bridge here, this is the bridge where the 21 and 21A service towards Bridgewater and Highbridge and Burnham goes over this bridge here and then through Barpool into Manton Heathfield. It goes that way to go down Hamilton Road, past the bus depot and then into the town centre from that side. We pretty much run parallel to that, because we'll go round a nice, so Taunton to Bridgewater in a minute, once we go past Coglow Junction, which is just a nice long pair of sweeping curves, will then take us into Bridgewater. It's rugby ground. And this is now the first time we're going to pass underneath the M5 motorway. We will pass underneath it again when we get to Bridgewater. Well, it won't be very long. It's not very long. On a stopping train, it's time to take 11 minutes. Obviously, we're not stopping. We're going quicker. It probably takes about 6. The only reason why the line comes out here is because that's where the junction is. With the Box and Hands, what will be a subject for another video, and that is the more direct line between the West Country and London. It joins up with the main Great Western Main Line again out of Reading, but it goes via Castle Carey, Frome, Westbury, Pewsey, Newbury, Hungerford, Bedwin, and Newbury as well. That line goes via, but it's the more direct route. It's quicker. It takes an hour and 20 minutes from Taunton to Reading on a non-stop service. Where if you're going via Bristol, it will take coming up to 2 hours. As we know, we've done it. We've done it with a few more stops. Obviously. This is Coglow Junction. If we had the feather indication here, we'll go on to the Box and Hands up towards Reading, but again, I'll do it in a second video, probably in a HST, as this route is actually backdated. It's backdated to the early 2000s, or 2010s, before electrification, before they rebuilt Reading and all that. But yeah, that one there, the Box and Hands, and that goes up to Reading via Westbury and Newbury. And most GWR services to London from the West Country will go up that line, while predominantly cross-country provide the fast service up this line. GWR provide the stopping trains, and the stopping trains normally go between Plymouth and Cardiff, with the occasional ones from Penzance and the occasional ones that terminate at either Taunton or Exeter. The stopping trains don't tend to terminate Western-super-Mare, on the Castle service anyway. There is obviously the Severn Beach to Western-super-Mare services, but other than that, no other stopping trains tend to terminate, because you have the train from London. I think it's every 2 hours there's a train from London that will terminate at Western-super-Mare. Like what we did in another video. Like, we've done that, we've covered that. I think that's every 2 hours that happens, well, near enough, as it's an every half-hour service. The rest terminate at Temple Meads, and there's also an every half-hour service to Cardiff, with one of the two extending for an hourly service to Swansea. Again, the South Wales main line, that's for another video. That'll probably be the next one to do after this, I reckon. But for all you train spotters and all that in the southwest, if you want to know where Coglow Junction is, there is a road bridge that's just down from it, and that's just outside of Creechy Field, if anyone will know where that is. It's on the 374 route that goes to Bristol via Wells Street and Glastonbury. It's on that route. Bus-wise, I think it's the A361, I think, road. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know South Somerset very well. Well, North and South Somerset. This audio clip I've now done is almost 15 minutes since I started it up again. Time flies when you're having fun, that's for sure. That's what makes these videos so easy. It's easier to play this game and record rather than play this game and sit in silence. If you do that, time goes by so slowly. 35 miles to Bristol. Whistleboard. Still got another 20-ish minutes. Is good. and we are now passing back under the M5 well, what part of the M5 is this? This will be south side Bristol, so by Compassing and Stockmore. That bridge, that's normally the breaking point for, well, in train sim what I've used. I don't know what real life one, but in train sim that is normally my breaking point if I'm stopping at Bridgewater. Because the station is just round here. In fact, I can see it. So cross-country services don't stop here yet. There is a campaign to get cross-country services stopping here. So yep, this is Bridgewater. Lovely. This bridge here, this is what the B1 service goes over, was Bridgewater Town route, and loads of college services into college go over that, including the 15. What is a route I have been on. To my pure wanton extinction. To my demise, basically. But we are now. I don't know if it's going to be in this game. Oh yeah, that's it over there. So we're running now adjacent to, on that side is the A38. Well, we now run adjacent to the whole way to Birmingham. And on that side is the M5. But again, we also run adjacent to the whole way now. Both of them pretty much go the same place, apart from the A38 I think goes to Manchester. While the M5 finishes in, I think the M5 finishes at Spaghetti Junction, where it then merges into the A38M or into the M6 at that point. Now just 30 miles from Bristol. That'll fly by at this speed, so we're about to get 110 limit. Obviously on this journey, I don't think in any of it will get any 125 limits. So I think you only get them north of Birmingham, or Brum, whatever you want to call it. I'll just call it Brum. So, because it's easier to pronounce. So you only get the 125 limits north of Brum when you go onto the West Coast Main Line. Yeah, and that's not until Southport, I want to say. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to search that up. Right, UK rail map. Where is it? Let's bring back that bit. I want to say it's Southport or something like that. I don't know. It's where the West Coast, the bit via Bristol, joins back up with the main West Coast main line, the Trent Valley. But I want to find it on the map so I know what it's called, because I can never remember. It is Stafford, sorry. Then after that, cross-country trains tend to, for the most part, go up via Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah, but cross-country services go via, so this hybrid in Barnum. So yeah, cross-country services go up via Stoke-on-Trent, into Stockport, and then into Manchester that way, where the main West Coast main line obviously goes to Crewe, and then from Crewe it goes up towards Wigan, and then into Scotland and Carlisle. But some cross-country services also go via Crewe, but the most of them go via Stoke-on-Trent. I'll check on the timetable of this one, if in real life this one does. That'll be another tab on the iPad. That'll still be Chrome, because it's the other Chrome tab. So this one goes via Stoke-on-Trent, yes. So after Brum, it goes at Wolverhampton, Stafford, Stoke-on-Trent, Macclesfield, Stockport and Manchester Piccadilly. We're speeding. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. So in the next video, we will literally only be calling at Bristol Parkway and Cheltenham Spa before then going to Brum. And it'll be on that one that we get to go up the Licky Incline. That'll be fun. Nice and full power the whole way up. Really test out the whole way up. They do sound absolutely lovely. This bridge here, I believe this is the bridge. Well, okay, apparently it's just fun for that. It's one of these bridges here, the 20 route between Birmingham City and it's one of these bridges. I'm not sure which one. Nor do I think there's a actual road over it. Because it is literally only a little country lane. But they send double-decker buses down. First bus. Is all I can say to that. Just not sure which bridge. It's this one here, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because over that way is Barrow and Breen. But still, so the A38's, well, we're not running adjacent to it now. It goes over to Bristol Airport, then into Bristol from another side, but we are relatively just over from the M5. Still, the A38 does some more interesting things. It doesn't go via Western Superman. It's the road that serves Bristol Airport, but it's quite a nice bit of road, nice and windy. The Falcon coach service goes on there. First thing, from Plymouth to Bristol, you have the train service, but you also have quite a regular coach service. Well, coach bus service, it's treated as a bus service that goes via Bristol Airport, just follows the M5 and the A38. Or on days of, well, the A38, then the M5, then the A38 again. But if there's a bit of the M5 closed, it will just stick to the A38. It's just as quick. We're about to be speeding, because I didn't take into account we've got a speed limit coming up. Down just in time. Brakes, can you release please? Thank you. Lost a bit too much speed there. I'll have to gain it back. So, this is Western Superman Junction. It goes up here. Of which we started from. Obviously, we haven't covered the bit of track going into Western Superman. The station is just there. You can see where scenery sort of curves around. That's where Western Superman station is over there. But this is the bypass line. The train's not stopping now. But during the summer, cross-country and early mornings cross-country trains do get routed round the loop, but they just don't stop there to allow fast GWR services to pass, because they obviously have priority on this line. And during the summer, some cross-country trains do stop at Western Superman. But we're coming to the end of the section of line of which we have not covered yet. We are about to go on to the section of which we have covered once the loop line rejoins. But I might redo that video. Now I've got a better monitor, meaning how the video shows out for you guys will be a lot better now than it has been. However, we will take it as we go. I thought we'd do previous video on Trains and Classic, that line to the side of us that's just joined is the line we were on. So anything further at this point is route we have already covered in Just Trains. No, in the electrification freeware mod for Just Trains Western Main Lines. Obviously all this is a newer route but backdated, so it is better quality. Like this is Whirl, we've just passed through. We'll pass through Yatton quite shortly. 12 minutes to Temple Meads to do 15 miles. So this is actually the longest non-stop section in this video. In the next video there's going to be a lot of non-stop. Well, level crossing. But yes, we're not far from the end of this video. This video will probably be about an hour long, give or take, because of the fact this Bristol to Exeter takes an hour to cover it end to end. Before then we go on to the line up to Brum. It's nicknamed the cross-country line, as it tends to, for the most part, only be cross-country that use it. I don't actually know its name, but most people call it the cross-country main line. But from Bristol to Birmingham, or Brum. But part of that you run along the cross-city line. Actually quite a lot of them. From Bromsgrove onwards, you are. So, is it Bromsgrove onwards? Yeah. Bromsgrove onwards. In fact, in the next video is going to be about an hour and a half. With two sections of non-stop running, one being half an hour and then one being an hour almost of what is non-stop running. So a lot more non-stop than this. This is where the cross-country trains get proper like non-stop now. Is once you get north of Taunton. But before Taunton they serve quite a lot of stops. And this is the passing loops. So freight trains, normally they are like freight trains or commuter trains, and pull into either of these loops to allow fast non-stop trains such as us to pass. These are where they have them on this line, they are vital because these lines are packed to capacity. And this is Yatton, so that would be the Yatton loops. This is where the junction of the old Strawberry line used to be. Obviously, let's cease to exist. There's many examples of things like that have ceased to exist. So, as of things we've covered in a previous video, we'll have a bit at the start because we do Bristol Temple Meads, past Bristol partway to that junction. I explained it, where the cross country turns off. We'll actually be turning off that junction. But up till then, we've already covered. But I think cross-country route is a little bit backdated from modern day because it's a bit of an older route, so it will have slight differences. Like I don't think there's a 4-track input in between Bristol and Parkway. Or the electrification, for that matter. There might be, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done it. That'll be a fun hour and a half video, probably for me to record tomorrow. Or later today. Depends. When I finish this one. What I decide to do, I've still got to edit this, and where I've had that pause in the audio, instead of having to put one audio clip in, I've actually got to match up where it started again. I've taken a note on my iPad in fact, in game time, what time it started again, so it should link up pretty well. It might be a bit odd, a bit off, but other than that, it should link up pretty well with what I'm saying and where the train is. It should be a complete mix mash. Miles to go. Means we'll soon pass through Nelsey and Buckwell, and then we have a bit of a run with no stops before we then get to I think it's Parsons Street we've passed first and then Bedminster. Yes, it is indeed Parsons Street and then Bedminster. This is now St Backwell. Another stop. GWR trains, or back then it was First Great Western. But cool there. It's quite a regular service actually. So that's why the long distance London trains, they call between Western and Bristol, the ones that do run to Western, they do call at these local stops. Nelson and Backwell and Yatton and Whirl, they call that, but they don't call it Bedminster or Parsons Street because they're served by the hourly service from Severn Beach. Not that they really need a train service because they have the Metro bus. What is an express bus service that runs across Bristol? Well, they do now. They didn't back when this route was set, but they do now. Some of them use some guided busways as well. Out near Ashton Gate. I think it's Ashton Gate anyway. I'm not sure. Again, it's been a long time since I've been down that side of Bristol, that's for sure. Because Bristol is quite a boring place. Well, depends who you are, but for me it's quite a boring place. I find it quite boring. Why go Bristol when I can just go London just as quick? So GWR stopping trains, what you'll most likely end up on, if you just turn it up and go in, is an hour to Bristol. And with 20 minutes more than that, I can get to Reading. And then about another 20 minutes more, I can get to London. So not worth it to go London. I'm actually going to idle off. I've got a 90 limit coming up. Speed's going to start to come down now as we approach Bristol, and I've got to remember to couple up. We might have a red signal, meaning if we do, I have to tab it and request permission to pass the signal at danger. Well, I don't think TPWS is... Yeah, it's more for the 90. No, it isn't. TPWS isn't fully simulated. Like, the train stop, it will stop the train, but you don't have to hit the override in order to stop it from stopping the train. Someone was thought. So we're now down at 90 limit, what is obviously at this signal. I'll just keep it idled off now because the speed limit is going to start coming down a bit more in a minute. For the approach into Temple Meads. Come to a pretty good distance from Exeter to Bristol in this video. About an hour's journey, about 60 miles I think it is. I think it's about 60 miles, 55 to 60 miles, if not a little bit more. Search it up. This is Parsons Street. So it's actually 78.5 miles, so almost 80 miles we've done from Bristol to, well, from Exeter to Bristol. Start bringing the speed right down now because we've got a 25 limit. And this is Bedminster. It's normally about now that the train manager will start announcing the stop at Bristol Temple Meads. So They normally do it quite far out to allow people to get their belongings together and get to the doors ready. Obviously, in real life, if we hadn't started from Exeter, this is where because the driver would have started at painting, this is also where a driver change would take place. Right. That's a single yellow. You should get to hear me see it do it. Right, red ahead, 0.3 miles. Start to bring the speed down now. Ready for that red. If it doesn't clear. Which, by the sounds of it, it's not, what means we will stop at it, and then we will request permission to pass signal at danger. Not actually do that for another 4 minutes. It should be doing about 15 miles an hour by the AWS ramp, of which we were. We want to stop a decent distance from the signal, but not too far away from it. Enough so we can still see it. Now, AWS is inactive from this point, because obviously it's very low speed. What we do, we stop. No, not into emergency. Do that. We secure the train, apply the DR8, and then we request permission to pass signal at danger. It's been approved. We've got the poser. Basically means the main signal can't be cleared for whatever reason. This will be because the block is occupied by another train. The train we're coupling up to, but the signalmen themselves have given us permission to pass it. So we reset the DR8, put it into forwards, and apply power. I would say best practice is beat the horn. I don't know, I'm not a train driver. Anyone who is, who watches this, let me know. Would you beat the horn when passing a signal at danger? We're going to proceed at about 15 miles an hour. Enough speed so we can stop if there's an obstruction. Because sometimes if you cleared past red signal, you don't know if there's an obstruction or not. Could be track circuits faulty or something like that. Obviously in this case we know why. It's because we're coupling up to another train. Request pass signal at danger denied, but that don't matter. It's only a shunt signal, meaning it doesn't apply to us in our case. But they're still shown on the HUD. They're shown on the HUD, but they don't apply. So we're not shunting. So that's slowly bring the speed down, ready to couple up. There's the unit we're coupling to. So first of all, we've got to stop just short of it. So we will creep towards it. At more speed where we can literally just put step on it and pretty much instantly stop. Stop just short. Technically you prep the coupler. And then you'd head forwards onto the unit. So yeah, we'll stop just short. Put it into neutral quick. Because always secure the train when you're doing anything else. You can't accidentally put full power and smash into it. Right. Literally. Less than 3 miles an hour. Slow as possible. Ah, shit. That shouldn't have happened. Right. I suppose then, this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.